you have to be able to write this next thing down. Make sure you write this next thing down. So write bullet points on this next thing down. You have to be able to explain the pathological process. You have to be able to explain the pathological. You have to explain how that permanent injury is going to alter joint motion and cause arthritis. So you should be able to simply explain it. So it might sound something like that. You guys should all be able to do that in here right now. If I called on you right now, you should be able to explain how that injury, a permanent injury, causes arthritis. That's what you should be able to do right now. Now I'm just going to give you a real simple, a very simple analogy. So, and this has to do with the prognosis and the need for future care. So the prognosis is this injury is eventually going to lead to degenerative osteoarthritis, the #1 disability in the United States. So what is the short process? Based on the 3 phases of healing, the patient is now showing MMI and a permanent injury. What does that mean? It means the nerves in that area are going to be more sensitive when the patient does normal activities of daily living. It means the nerves in that scar tissue are going to be trapped, which means when the patient does accentuated movements with overpressure with activities of daily living, it's going to result in pain. It means that the collagen being less elastic, the patient's going to have more normal active range of motion, but they will start having restrictions in overpressure range of motion. It also means that they're going to be, because of the collagen's only 75% as strong, they're going to be more susceptible to re-injury with normal activities of daily living they were able to perform before. This leads to the collagen, the decreased collagen elasticity leads to adhesions. Those soft tissue adhesions lead to altered arthrokinematics. Altered arthrokinematics. The altered arthrokinematics, and now I'm just going to list how altered joint kinematics, altered arthrokinematics affects the different tissues. Altered arthrokinematics causes the cartilage to premature degeneration, wear and tear and degeneration. Altered arthrokinematics causes ligamentous laxity. Altered arthrokinematics causes reflex muscle spasms. Altered arthrokinematics stimulates the mechanoreceptors, inducing and causing premature pain with movement. So I just want to cover the different tissues: joint, cartilage, ligament, muscle. Okay? I want to make a comment about how the altered arthrokinematics affects each of those. This leads, and then the final statement is, this is the pathology, this is the pathological process of osteoarthritis and the #1 disability in the United States. So you modify that accordingly, but you see how I just kind of walk through it? You need to be able to say that in your narrative report. You need to be able to connect those dots from the permanent MMI and how those tissues are affected, what tissues they're affecting, and the results it's having on the patient, which the end result leads to the degenerative arthritis. And then on top of that, when you finish with arthritis, then I would add to it, and that's what will inhibit and cause restrictions and limitations in activities of daily living, specifically, and then state the ones that they had more trouble with, whether it was sleeping, working, bending, twisting, whatever it was. That is what people get paid for when they can't do activities of daily living. There's no money in this because it doesn't affect my activities of daily living in any way. Sensory, motor, range of motion, nothing. That's what they get. That's the sequence. Make sure you know how to say that sequence in your own words, okay? That is the end result for neuromusculoskeletal, especially spinal problems. You're limiting, you may not be stopping it, but you're helping to decrease the pile-on effect. So even if you don't stop the permanent injury, you're going to limit the permanency. I guarantee you, after my back injury, if I would have gotten physical medicine through all 3 phases of healing, I would not have as much degeneration and problem in my low back as I do now. I would probably still have some, but it would not be as bad as it is now. So you're either stopping it from happening because you're getting that joint dysfunction back to normal, or you're limiting the severity of it, and that's what you're doing. What's the end result? You're helping to decrease that altered joint mechanics, which is the precursor to osteoarthritis, the #1 disability in the United States, which means you're affecting things that are very important to that person: sleeping, working, cooking, cleaning. Then you also start to affect relationships, because pain and discomfort starts to affect attitude, starts to affect relationships, starts causing depression. Okay? So I'm saying all those things, and you're exactly right. That is the conviction point of chiropractic right there. And that's why we say chiropractors don't help with mortality, but we damn well have a major impact on morbidity and lifestyle and quality of life. We don't touch it with 8%, which is a shame. You know, way more people are taking drugs all through the phases of healing after injuries. That's the norm, not physical medicine. Right? Thank you, Subba Wubba. Okay? So make sure you have that. That is always the end result, what you're going to be saying. That's the prognosis, what you're going to be saying at the end, because that is the pathology of neuromusculoskeletal right there, 3 phases healing. Especially, it happens in the joints, but especially the spinal biomechanics, okay?